Welcome to Season 3 of the Take the Leap podcast. We want to thank you for being a part of this journey with us.
Whether you're just starting to tune in or you're a longtime listener of the podcast, you can expect to hear from entrepreneurs in all stages of their journey, how they got to where they are, and all the mistakes and victories they've had along the way.
We're excited to share new guests and have some returning folks from our first 2 seasons. Thank you for being here, and we hope you enjoy this episode.
Hello and welcome back to Take the Leap. We are back today to recap our conversation that we published earlier in the week with Maddie. So hi, Ashlan. I guess let's first start with this. How are you? How are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm getting used to the weather being cold here because it does get cold here. Although I was on a networking call with somebody on the East Coast this morning, and she's like, "It's like 38 degrees." So I was like, maybe I shouldn't be complaining about
It's not
50
that
degrees.
cold.
Yeah, I shouldn't be complaining about my 58 degrees, but it feels cold. It just, yeah, and it was really windy the other day. It was like 14-mile-per-hour winds, like coming from the north. And so
That's crazy.
I was just like, oh, yeah. Our house, because we have it's only like single pane windows, it literally sounds like you're in a wind tunnel when it's windy. And so I'm like, this probably just sounds a lot worse than it really is. But
that's really funny.
But yeah. How are you, Tori? How's your week been?
I'm great. My week has been great. I know we were just talking a little bit before this, but I think we were recording this on a Friday.
Yeah.
It's being published the next Thursday or whatever we end up publishing this episode. But I have never been so excited for a Friday like I've been for this Friday. And it's not because I have really exciting plans or anything. It's just it's been a weird week and I'm excited to just shut my brain off.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Totally.
Good. And for the record, your cold weather, which I'm so sorry you're dealing with, I want you to know that it's been like monsooning over here.
No. At least we don't have that. Yeah.
And I just to remind you what it was like living in the Pacific Northwest, I went to the grocery store today and I was in the rain for like a total of like a minute coming and going from my car, and my feet were soaked because I didn't wear the right shoes.
Yeah.
So just to remind you of what it was like in the Pacific Northwest. I also earlier, like before that, I dropped my son off at preschool. I forgot about this. This is funny. And I'm running him to the car because I'm like, dude, I don't want to get super wet here.
Yeah.
Like, let's just get in the car. Let's get you in their car seat. Let's move the fuck on. And this kid likes to stall in every single, like he wants to take his time. He wants to experience everything as a whole. So I'm literally like lifting him up because I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore. Like we're getting in the car. I accidentally bonked his head while getting him in the car because I was going so quick. And
I'm sure he had a meltdown, a total meltdown.
He knows how to hold a grudge now. His bottom lip starts trembling and he goes, "Mom hurt me."
Oh
no. And so here I am wanting so badly just to get in the front seat of the car, and it's pouring down rain. I'm soaked by this point, and I then have to stand over him, you know, as he's like kind of halfway in the car and I'm, you know, outside of the car. And I have to apologize. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, buddy. I did not. That was an accident. Yeah. Accident. You know, we talk about how accidents happen. I did not mean to bonk your head. I'm so sorry. And he just kept like that bottom lip just kept quivering. And he's like, Mom hurt me. And I'm like, oh my God. This is a great morning.
Please don't repeat this at school. We don't want to get in trouble. It wasn't on purpose.
Like, I'm so sorry. Yeah. Do you forgive me? And like, I was like, do you forgive me? He's like, but like his lip, like I knew he didn't because his lip was still trembling. So we were there for like 5 minutes and then finally I got him laughing and he was okay. Yeah. And we moved on and we listened to Bluey on the way to
Aw.
preschool, specifically the dance mode song. But anyway, listeners, you probably did not tune in to listen to me talking about the morning with my son. So why don't we dive in to our conversation about or our conversation we had with Maddie, which
Mhm.
talking to Maddie was really, really fun. We recorded this a few weeks ago, so it's kind of funny that we're responding. We're responding in a little bit of a different time frame, but that's
Mhm.
okay. I really enjoyed our conversation. And I also used to work with her. So I just know that she is a really fun, pleasant person to be around. And she's
Yeah.
also really smart and really talented. And
Mhm.
so one of the things that we talked about was social media. And obviously, like, social media is something that, you know, I deal with and you deal with all the time for small
Mhm.
businesses. But specifically, Maddie uses social media as like a core driver for like the restaurant industry, and she's
Yeah.
had a lot of experiences with different types of restaurants. And so we talked a lot about that, and we talked a lot about how to directly tie foot traffic with sales, which is like a huge thing for restaurant owners of like, is
Mhm.
this even worth my time? Is this marketing even worth my time? Is it actually going to drive traffic? Am I actually going to get people here to come and eat dinner? And that's such a, like, I just feel like in marketing in general, that's just such a big thing where it's like, how do you, like, obviously there are certain things, campaigns, right? Or
Mhm.
when you're purchasing something online, you can directly correlate, like, okay, all of this campaign produced this much in revenue and sales. But when it
Mhm.
comes to something like that, it's a little bit harder to track and it's a little bit
Yeah.
more complicated. And I think it kind of just overall goes to show that it's not just social media. It's not just your website. It's not just your digital presence. It's not just your in-person like experience,
Yep.
right? Like there's a whole strategy behind it all and a whole brand. And if only one or two things are working correctly, you know, and you're not looking at your marketing as a holistic thing, then it's probably not going to work long term.
Yeah.
What do
Yeah,
you think?
I thought it was really interesting, and it's funny because, like, since we recorded with Maddie, I've recently started watching, this show on Apple TV about all these restaurants that are going for, like, the Michelin star thing,
Oh.
and so I think it's really just interesting, like, we talk about social media, you know, and I talk about social media all the time as, like, service providers, as, like, a space that, like, you don't need to be on, like, every day, all the time, but I feel like for certain industries like bars and restaurants, you kind of have to be all the time. However, it's really different because you can get away with having like a lot more evergreen content and a lot of stuff that just kind of like you can
Mhm.
probably do a bunch of it, you know, and kind of like set it and forget it, or, you know, just kind of like repurpose a lot of things. And I don't recall if we actually covered this in the episode, but one another way to like know if it is working or if people are being like brought in by it is I know a lot of bars and restaurants, especially here in Vegas, they like rotate through different specials, or they'll be, you know, like, or when they put up on their social media, like, ask us about this dish, you can actually kind of track like how quickly are you selling out of something, or how many people are ordering, you know, a particular thing. And I think it all just kind of boils down to like knowing your data and having that information. Because, like, if you're not
Mhm.
tracking in your point of sale system, like this many people ordered, you know, this dish tonight, or we ran this special and it didn't work out really well. Or I was talking to my husband the other day, we haven't, there's like a kind of a, like a local, I want to say like dive bar, but maybe it would be like a Portlandy dive bar near us, and like they do specials every day of the week, and I was like, oh man, I want to go in for, like, I was craving like meatloaf, and I was like, we need to look up when the meatloaf special is. We have been there on meatloaf special day, like, and it at like all varying different times, and they have been sold out, and I'm like, damn it, why don't you guys order more? Like, I'm coming in
Yeah.
at like, you know, 5 o'clock or 5:30. You should not be out of this yet. Like,
You're
it's
like
like
there for the
prime food
early bird.
time. Exactly. Exactly. Also,
That's
that
so
I've
funny.
realized that we've been more of that lately. I'm like, oh god, we're getting old. We're eating dinner like way
Oh,
earlier than we used
for
to.
sure. For sure.
Oh,
And I will say, like, having a kid bumped that up
oh,
for us
totally.
because his eating schedule was ours for the
Yeah.
longest
Yeah,
time
yeah, yeah.
because, and even now, like, we're having a hard time adjusting back. So it's
Mhm.
just,
Yeah.
we eat early now. But
Mm.
no, I agree with you. And I think the other component to that is, you're like, yeah, I think if you are in that industry, you do need to be online. I feel like that's how people find you right now.
Mhm.
That's like the biggest
Mhm.
driver. Not saying that's the only thing and that you have to be posting multiple times a day, but it is a huge way to get people and get that visibility. However, I think the other piece to this, and this all goes to your branding and the experience that people have while they're there, is user generated content is
Yeah.
a huge thing for that industry, and that's what's going to get you seen more than anything. So being able to find a way to set it up so that people want to talk about you, I almost
Mhm.
think that's like even more, I mean, it's not more valuable than reviews because you
Yep.
also need to have reviews and stuff too, but I feel like it's up there because I will look at maybe like a creator's account of like, oh, they posted some really great places in Portland to get Thai food. Like, let me look at that
Mhm.
post and I'll
Yeah.
see that. And then I'll go to that restaurant's um profile and I'll check out the reviews because, nobody wants to go to like a 2-star,
Yeah. Yeah.
restaurant usually. So that's kind of my process. That's a lot of people's processes,
Mhm.
right? Like you hear about a restaurant, you go, like, I feel like that's actually one of the few industries to this day where somebody says, "Hey, um we should go to this place," and you actually go and like physically look them up by
Yep.
going to their website and like looking
Mhm.
at reviews. I feel like a lot of places, I mean, service providers are higher in that too, but like a lot of other industries, it's just not quite as important.
Mhm.
So I think it's just funny, like
Totally.
that really does stand true because people want to pay money for good food and a good experience.
Mhm. Mhm. Absolutely. Yeah, I also tend to read, like, I'll do usually like 4. I look for 4 and above. I mean, if I'm gonna go, like, there have been cities that I have been in that have like had like a 3.5, and I'm like, okay, let's take a look at what, like what people complain about, just because there were not a lot of options around
Right.
there, and I'm like, okay, this is not the norm that I would normally do. And then it's like their bathrooms were dirty, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to this place to like go to the bathroom. I'm going to this place to eat, and different, different things that are on the list of like why they got irritated, or, sometimes, I mean, depending on the type of food you order, it does take a really long time to make it, so
Yeah.
like if that's what people are complaining about, then I'm like, I still
I'll
want
go
high
and try
quality
it too.
food.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, I think too, I think we as consumers know, like, I don't think a bad review is necessarily a make or break it for
Yeah.
me because I think we as consumers have gotten to the point where we're smart enough to kind of weed out who's just complaining to complain
Yeah.
versus, what is likely a legitimate concern.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
so
there's a
yeah,
screenshot going out on Instagram. I think it was for like an Outback Steakhouse where she gave them like a 1-star review because they didn't give her the blooming onion. And then she went back and did a 5-star review because she's just like, my freaking fat ass of a husband ate it on the way home and lied to me and said that you guys didn't make it. And I just cracked up laughing. Yeah, that was a pretty fun one.
that's hysterical.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Also, that is a lot to eat on a drive.
That is That is a lot. Like, did she not smell it on him?
Right? I know. And he brushed his teeth as soon as he came home. But yeah, it was pretty
A
funny.
bloomin' onion I have not had in like decades.
Yeah,
That sounds so
it
good
actually
right
sounds really
now.
good. Tori looks up where the closest Outback Steakhouses
Outback
are.
Steakhouse. I don't even know. Like,
I'm sure there's one, probably one in Clackamas.
probably. I'm certain there has to be. Gosh. Well, listeners, if you end up going and getting a bloomin' onion, let us know.
Yeah.
That sounds delicious right now. Well, getting back to kind of social media and just kind of like looking at it as I think one of the other conversations that, like, and I feel like it's not just specific to the restaurant industry. This is social media in general, is like
Mhm.
not posting just to post and
Right.
having a strategy. And there's a lot of coaches and gurus and stuff online right now that that continuously spread this kind of information of, well, in order to be successful on Instagram, you need to be posting 5 times a day, or in
Yeah.
order to be successful on social media, you need to be on every single platform, or you need to make sure that to beat the algorithm, that's my other favorite thing. To beat the algorithm, you need to post 5 times a day and be in stories 3 times a day and be liking everybody's content. And then before you post, you need to post a story first and then comment on someone's thing and then post. And it's like this really complicated, unapproachable formula to, quote, be successful on social media. And I guarantee you, if you do not have a strategy, and you're just posting content to check the boxes, even if you follow that complicated strategy to a T, I guarantee you it's not going to work. It's not going to bring you sales, and it's not going to have the impact that you want it to have.
Mhm.
It might get you some engagement, it might get you some new followers, but it's not going to give you what you need. And so I
Absolutely.
think, yeah, and I think just kind of remembering that, not posting just to post, and how to kind of like measure success based off of that.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you have a lot of those same conversations too with your
Oh,
client.
totally. Yeah, or like, why didn't we do something, on this and that? Yeah. I like to, you know me. I like to plan a lot of things out and make sure that we're like giving different kinds of content too, or not just saying like the same thing over and over again. So, like if we take Instagram and as an example, like post a reel, post a carousel, post a static photo, post tips, post kind of a different variety of things. And it's kind of funny, as I was listening to you say that, I almost wonder if a lot of those people say those things because they want you to buy from them and they're like, oh, well, I will never have time to do that. So let me just hire this person, to
Yeah.
do all of that for me. And yeah, I mean, I feel like it's more important to authentically like relate to your audience than it is to just be doing all of that, because like they also don't want to probably see your face that many times a day. Or
No.
typically when I do see service providers that are on like that often, I'm like, oh, you don't actually have clients, you're not busy enough because you are on social media like 24/7.
Yeah.
And I've found that I see a lot less people going like live, and a lot, because there was that time period where like people were going live every day for like an hour. And yeah, I feel like that's like a very interesting tactic. And I think too, the folks who kind of have like an over reliance on social media, because we've talked about this before, it's not ever going to be your highest converting channel, especially if you're not selling directly through it. If you're, people eventually have to get to your website, they have to get to your contact form, they have to, have a conversation with you. You want them on your email list because that's where they're going to click a button and buy something. So, I think, everything should be in service of getting them into your overall ecosystem instead of just kind of keeping them on the platform, because you get a lot of lurkers and a lot of browsers, and that those are not the buyers that you are
Yeah.
seeking for your business.
Exactly.
So yeah,
Exactly.
enough to get them to do the thing that you really want them to do, which is buy the thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I've said this a lot too with people who run like a lot of ads. Like sometimes like we could have the best strategy, right? And we could go
Hmm.
in and pay, and like set it up the way we want it and have like really specific targeting. But sometimes people need more than just an ad to commit.
Yep.
They need it in multiple, like, just to kind of reiterate what you're saying.
Hmm.
Sometimes they need to see it multiple times before they commit. It depends on what it is, especially if it's a service.
Hmm.
Like, it's not just something that you can simply buy online. I mean, or you can, but like you need, like, there's a commitment piece to it, right? Like
Hmm.
you're not just buying a product and receiving the product.
Yeah.
And even with products, sometimes I need that. Like, do you know how many things from TikTok Shop I just add to my cart and then I don't buy? Like, or I'll go back and buy like a month later, or I'll never buy. Like, it just
Yeah.
there's so many things I think I want in the moment,
Mhm.
and then it just
Oh
doesn't
my God. I
happen.
was just reading this report the other day, and I can't remember the exact percentage. But they were saying that like a lot of people, and I actually just did this too with Black Friday stuff. Like I looked at the return policy for the things that I was buying, and I was just like, okay, just in case these don't fit, like I want to be able to take them back because I have been noticing that there are a lot more, especially like TikTok stuff and like, let's just be honest, stuff that's like coming from China. They won't take it back and they won't
Oh,
refund you. Like
interesting.
there are no returns and they won't refund you. So yeah, I've bought like shoes like that, but and like shoes that you're buying online. I mean, so much of it is like fit, and stuff like that. And how are you actually going to be able to tell how they're going to feel, especially like I don't know, I bought shoes before where it's just like, wow, those feel great barefoot, but like I'm definitely going to use socks in them. And then once you like do the socks, you're like, oh yeah, those are not comfy anymore,
Yeah,
or they're like squeezing in different ways. And it just reminds me of like when we were younger and we would always go to like the shoe, like the shoe store
I
to go
know.
try on
Yeah.
shoes and all of that.
They
And
had the
like,
little thing. They had the little
yes, the little foot measure
yeah,
thing.
that was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah.
And it was always for us, it was always like back to school time frame. We would
Mm-hmm.
get like two, like it was like two pairs usually. Because
Yep.
they usually had like that deal, like the
The buy
BOGO
one, get
deal.
one.
And
Mm-hmm.
so we would
Mm-hmm.
each get two pairs, and then that was supposed to last us through the
The
school
entire
year.
year.
Like it
Mm-hmm.
was literally like, unless it is falling apart,
Yep.
you don't get new shoes
Yep.
until next
Exactly.
year.
Exactly. Is the rubber coming apart? Oh, I wish I could go back in the day when Converse were like $10 and I like legit wanted them in every color. And my mom was like, no, pick one. I wish I could go like transport myself back in time and be like, okay, I'm going to
Right?
spend $100, 10 different ones. I know exactly what size I'm going to be forever and have
Mhm.
those. But yeah. So I think a lot of people do that. My whole point is that they buy more online than they actually expect to keep. That
Yeah.
was one of the things that they said is like people are they're shopping more online, but people return like a good. I think I want to say it was like they return 40% of what they buy online. So that's also like
That's fair.
a sunk cost to um, providers online because are you
Mhm.
going to cover the shipping? Or are you going to make the customer cover the shipping and whatnot? And as you and I both know, there is a huge market for reselling stuff too. Like people
Mhm.
resell clothes or things that they don't use anymore.
Right.
So there's also that like big marketplace as well. That's
Exactly.
accessible. Yeah.
Behavior changes as access changes
Hmm.
and as just like the way things work changes. And
Yeah.
so, yeah. And being on top of like how consumers are doing things and like just
Hmm.
thinking about how you do things is
Right.
really, really helpful when you apply it to your marketing strategy.
Hmm. Absolutely.
So, yeah, I really, really loved this conversation with her. But yeah, I think one more thing about our conversation with Maddie before we wrap up. I love that she pointed out her experience and like her journey to entrepreneurship. She and like I kind of knew her during this period too. Her path to social media marketing was by learning herself and
Hmm.
kind of through trial and error. I knew her when she was a bartender, and she kind of did both for a while and then kind of moved into more of the social media world. And I think it's really, really perfect that it aligned with she was going to do social media specifically for a lot of restaurants. I think
Hmm.
she does social media for other industries too, but she really has a focus on the restaurant industry. I think because
Hmm.
she knows the restaurant industry so well and worked in the restaurant industry for so many years. And so I think just noting that your experience doesn't have to come from the traditional, I went to school for marketing and then I took courses on social media marketing, or
Mhm.
I took this certification in social media marketing, because I feel like her knowing the industry that she was in helped her know more than anything what she needed to focus on in her content. Whereas I feel like
Mhm.
somebody who came from the, like, I feel like
Yeah.
knowing like what your skill set is and how, and learning from the experience that you have, it doesn't have to be exactly what the traditional way is. You know what I'm trying to
Mhm.
say?
I do. I do, and it's actually kind of funny. I haven't looked in a while, but I know I don't know how many years ago this was, but they still weren't having like social media wasn't like a standard part of marketing education. And I still
No.
feel like if you looked at like the syllabi and different things in, colleges and universities, that it probably doesn't sit as like a required class. It probably, email marketing doesn't either. Like I know that I took at Portland State, I did like a continuing ed thing for digital marketing, which is where I got like more familiar with everything that we do now. And yeah, I mean, because technology changes at such a rapid rate too, like if you're not good at just kind of like learning on the fly, or like, I mean, I look up shit on YouTube all the time, like how do
Yeah.
I do this, or I'll just be kind of honest, like ChatGPT is also amazing like getting you, faster to what you need to be learning, or giving you kind of ideas and things like that. As well, or different things. So being able to, if you are in this type of industry, not being afraid to like learn, experiment, use YouTube, look stuff up. And and it is kind of funny. I feel like because I used to work for an organization or a company that really focused on like Google ads and like what people put into search, I'm really good at like finding right away what I want on the internet, instead of using kind of like broad keywords, being like very, very specific. Like I need to know on Instagram how to do, like how to add, what was it that I needed to do? Oh, I'm still trying to figure this out. One of my clients' accounts doesn't let her schedule content through Instagram, even though it's a business, or like a business account. I'm thinking it must need to be associated with a Facebook account, which is kind of annoying. But
I think
is
so.
that what
Yeah.
it
I
is?
think
Okay,
that's,
ugh,
yeah. Yeah.
that's the bummer bit. But anyways, so like yeah, like figuring those kinds of things out. Needs to happen. But yeah, not being afraid to use all your resources, and that includes the internet, to figure out what you need.
Exactly. Agreed. Agreed.
Hmm.
Well, it was a great conversation with Maddie. Loved having her on. We'll probably have her on again,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
assuming. Um, so, Ashlyn, before we wrap up, why don't you tell me what your win for the week was?
Well, we're recording this really close to Thanksgiving, so I'm very, very proud of myself. I was solo without my husband for Thanksgiving, and during that entire week, I did not order food out. So,
That's amazing.
usually when he travels back to Portland, I'm like, what restauranty things do I want to have delivered to my house? So I went shopping. I braved Costco the day before Thanksgiving. I bought a bunch of food. I cooked for myself, and yeah, I was really proud of myself for doing that, and not and
That's
resisting the
incredible.
urge to just DoorDash food to myself the entire time. Yeah.
That's great. Good job.
What is your win for this week, Tori?
Yes. My win is we had also like a couple of days where we, took off for the holiday and I didn't work. On client work, I actually took some time to think and have what I'm calling CEO time, which I need to do more of throughout the year. And it's something that I recommend my clients do. And then I have not taken it all year because it's been a crazy year. Um, and I really feel like I got myself organized and I really needed that. I was feeling in a funk and feeling like overwhelmed because I didn't have like that strategy that I needed to
Mhm.
help me move forward, and I needed to just take some time to focus on that. So I'm really glad I did that.
I love that. I need to start blocking that into my calendar for 2026 for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Well, what is something that you need to do better this week?
Follow-ups with everyone. I feel like so I usually take notes in my like CRM thing, but I've been taking more like handwritten notes when they're remarkable, and sometimes I don't like go through those. So I need to get back into the groove of like I think this is another thing that I'll do is put like some time blocked at the end of my day on my calendar just to like basically close and wrap up the week or the day or whatever whatever ends up being, but yeah, to just close those things out because I have had a few people be like, hey, where is that? And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, it's sitting on a page in my notebook in my notepad and will come to you eventually, but yeah, I feel like I always feel bad when I don't kind of close the loop with folks, so that has made
Yeah.
me better. What about you?
Fair. Um, I think, and I learned this by having CEO time. I think, I guess one, I want to use that CEO hat more often in my day to day, everyday work. And then two, I want to like do the things that I said I was going to do through that, like time blocking and stuff
Mhm.
like that. Like I've just been really, really bad at time blocking, and I really need that for my schedule. So I think, yeah, that's what I'm going to say to work on.
Yeah, maybe we should do that in our next co-working. We should do our
Yes.
things. We should do that
Yeah.
in our next co-working.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. So, and before I get into this question, I'm going to ask, like, we like to wrap up all of these sessions. We're going to talk about a piece of media, content, book, podcast, audiobook, whatever,
Whatever. Yeah,
YouTube,
whatever we're listening to.
distribution. We're
Yeah.
going to talk about that in just a second. But before I do that, I want to talk about our friend Mary, who is doing the CEO Winter Rebellion. Now, Mary did this in the summer, and it was a reading rebellion, and it was basically kind of like how you get like a pizza for reading a book. When you were a kid at Pizza Hut, it was delightful, but it was for adults, and she had lots of fun little prizes, and you could read and record your reading all summer long. And the whole point was for entrepreneurs to remember that you don't have to just read business books. In fact, it was encouraged to read fiction or other types of books, so that you could step outside your comfort zone and like kind of think outside the box kind of a situation. It was really, really, really fun. So now she's doing the Winter Rebellion, and kind of her description here is it's a Winter Rebellion challenge, which is a no pressure, high reward exploration of podcasts, YouTube, and all the content that actually sparks your creativity. So this is a business growth for people who are tired of the hustle harder energy and want something that feels human. So through the month of December, you can listen or watch any content that lights you up, log your entries with her, and there will be prizes for doing so. So, listeners, I highly recommend, especially since we know you listen because you're listening to us right now, highly recommend you sign up for that with her. You can find that on her website, sensiblewoo.com. I believe. I'm checking that right now.
Yeah, and we'll throw it in the show notes too, so that you
Okay,
guys
yeah, we'll
have
throw out the show
things.
notes.
Mhm.
But it's, yeah, you can sign up for it at sensiblewoo.com, and highly recommend.
And log all our episodes. Come on, y'all.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, with that in mind, Ashlyn, what piece of content are you really into right now?
I won't say that I'm necessarily into it, but I never watched Mad Men on the first run of its go around, and they just released it all on HBO. So John and I have been
Okay.
watching it together. And I was just like, why did I stop watching this? I was like, oh yeah, because it's really, really sexist. Like it's really creepy and gross in so many ways. Like hashtag me too over and over again. But we're almost done with the first season, and I'm like, is this going to pick up or is it going to just kind of be this way? And then I realized, like, I don't know, TV is so different now than it was, back then. And so it's just an interesting way that like our expectations change as time goes
Mhm.
on. So I probably still will finish it because I like to be a finisher of things. But yeah, so that's what I've been consuming lately. And yeah, I'm trying to figure out what all the hype was about when it ran the first time. We also
I
figured that John Hamm actually is hotter and sexier now than he was back
Yes.
then.
I actually agree with that. I feel that way
Yeah,
about a lot of men, actually.
yeah.
I feel like men age
Some of them
better.
age
So
better.
yes.
Some.
Some of them age better, than I think they look better older than they did when they were younger, and I
Yeah.
don't know, maybe that's because 'cause I'm getting older, so then
I
who
feel
knows?
that too, definitely.
Who
Feel like they're
knows?
more age appropriate for us now.
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, how about you, Tori? What is the piece of media content that
Yeah.
you are digging right now?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I just want to say I do agree with you on that. I had a hard time getting into it as well, and I never actually read it, which is funny because everyone's like, "Oh, you're in marketing," like,
Yeah, yeah, we're
but yeah,
supposed to, right?
yeah, I never got into it. I watched like an episode, and I haven't gone back since. So if
Yeah,
you decide that you like it, let me know, and
I
I'll
will.
I'll get back
I
into
may
it.
I may tell you like you can just skip all of
You
these
can
right
skip all of
here.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I guess the thing I've been consuming lately. So I get TV shows. So I haven't seen the new season yet of Stranger Things, but it is out and everybody's talking about it and
Yep.
I'm
Same.
trying to avoid spoilers. I forgot what happened because it's been like 20,000 years since
Yeah.
they started the show.
Hmm.
So we went back and started watching it and we're in season 4 now again.
Nice.
So I'm like, okay, well, like once we get through this, we can start. The reason why it's taking us so damn long is because we have a toddler.
I
It's
was gonna
not the
say
kind of show
you.
that you can have on in front of the toddler.
Yep.
So we have to wait till he goes to bed to watch an episode. And most nights we've gotten to the point where like even though we're tired, we force ourselves to
We're
watch an
gonna watch
episode because
something. Yeah.
we're gonna see all these spoilers. Like cause
Yeah.
they keep coming up on my feed. And
Totally.
I'm like, I want to see the new season. I don't remember season 4 at all. Like,
Mhm.
so I
Mhm.
have to watch season 4. It's like
Totally.
watching a new show all over again because I don't remember most of the
Absolutely.
things that happen. So anyway, we're watching Stranger Things a lot right now. That's it really it. It's been a busy season.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Nice. Yeah, I think we're gonna watch the new one this weekend because we did.
Nice.
We rewatched them. We rewatched them at one point this year, so we are more
So you're like more up
like
to
more
yeah.
recent and up to date with it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's so funny because you're doing like the one at a time thing. Because I have a friend who's like obsessed with it, and she's like, "What? You haven't watched it yet?" And I was like, "Dude, I know we're gonna start it, and we're gonna want to do the entire." Like, I was just like, "My plan is sit down and watch whatever's out, like in an instant." Like,
Which I
just
think there's 4 or 5
yeah,
episodes. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So
Because I would have probably just stayed up all night, and I'm like, I can't do that when I have to work.
exactly. Well, and when season 3 came out, that was the one that came out in the summer, right?
Hmm.
We didn't have kids then. And so I
Right.
remember when that came out, and at the time they weren't splitting the seasons. So it
Hmm.
was the whole season that came
Yeah.
out, if I'm correct on that. And I just remember like we spent like a whole like weekend, like because we had off for the 4th of July and then like we
Right.
had some extra days. So we spent like that whole long, period of being off from work just been like we didn't feel bad about it. Like we woke up, we started watching and like we
Hmm.
ordered food, like
Yeah. And just kept doing it.
like,
Yeah.
and we just kept doing it. And like, that was our weekend. And oh my God, those days were so
No, I
nice.
know. I was gonna
I
ask you
missed it.
if you let him watch it because like I was like that is gonna give that child nightmares.
No, we can't. We
Yeah.
can't do it.
Yeah.
We were like, maybe we could watch like in the like beginning of each season, it doesn't get super gory right away, but
Hmm.
even then it's scary. So
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
like and if he sees it, like, he's
he's
just
gonna
gonna
want to
be
watch
freaked
it.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, and then he's gonna go that night, he's gonna be like, "That monster is scary," and
Yeah.
yeah, so
Or
it's
you just
just
start, I don't know. I feel
yeah,
like when I was little and we would watch like scary movies, I would think that they were like, you had no knowledge that it wasn't real.
right,
And so you'd be like
right.
looking for monsters like everywhere. And yeah. Yeah.
Exactly, and we just went through, like, the Halloween season where
Right.
he was seeing a lot of stuff with, like, ghosts and, like, monsters, and so we had to have conversations with him of, um, like, monsters aren't real, which
Mhm.
we can save that conversation for a later day if but, like, monsters and ghosts aren't real, like, like, regardless of if that's true or not, like,
Right.
those are the conversations we were having, like, "There's no monster in your room," like,
Right.
you know, um, like, I don't know, it just
It's a lot. It's a lot to
yeah.
process for the little brain.
It's hard to, like, and then I'm, like, it was hard to be like, "I can't give you, like, context of, like," he's like, "Are ghosts real?" And I'm like, "I think they might be, but not, like, in the way that you think." Like, I don't
Yeah.
think that kind of a ghost is real, Like, I
Mhm.
think, I don't know, like, it's just, like, so hard, like, I don't know how to explain
To him.
to him. Yeah, that's a good question. I don't really know,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah. Just the comprehension
Yeah.
level of what you would discuss
Yeah,
is
and, like,
lower.
context and, like, I just want you to be able to sleep tonight, so I'm gonna
Right.
give you the answer that's gonna help you sleep. Um,
I feel like that is very
anyway.
appropriate.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome. Well, listeners, thank you so much for tuning in today and for listening to our conversation with Maddie and listening to our debrief and also listening to us go off on 1,000 different tangents. I feel like whenever I'm responsible for leading the episode, we always go off on like at least 30 different tangents.
It's fun. It's more fun that way.
I just
It's
keep
more fun that
talking.
way. Yeah.
Sometimes forget that people are listening. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
I sometimes forget that people are listening, and this is just like a conversation between you and me.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, on that note, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you all have a great week, and we'll see you again soon. Bye
Yep.
for now.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Take the Leap podcast. Check out our show notes to connect with us and our guests. If you have questions about the episode or ideas for future topics, send us a direct message on Instagram or email us at aloha@taketheleap-today.com. If you're interested in being a guest, fill out the guest interest form on our website.
If you're a new entrepreneur who is looking for a roadmap to move your business idea forward, check out the Take the Leap course on our website, taketheleap-today.com. Members who join the course also have an opportunity to join us in bi-weekly co-working and group coaching calls to build momentum and work on your business.
And if you'd like a flavor of what we offer, sign up for our free webinar with the 9 essential steps you need to launch your business with clarity and confidence. See you next time.